Alright guys, welcome back to the Monkey Business channel, and in this episode we're gonna talk about Tepes and do a build video. Now I already built them on stream, so I'm gonna do a little quick run over what I did, what I got, then I'll show you guys what all we found out. Just know Tepes is a boss killing machine. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go to the first section. Alright, so for the first section we're gonna go over Tepes and his skills, and basically it's who he is and trying to understand him, right? So for one, he is in the skeleton faction and he is a vampire. So, and he's a slayer, which is cool, because he has extreme large amounts of attack and he can fly. This was meant to be a flying killing machine. I'm surprised they didn't call him Dracula, but I can understand why. Let me see. So for his basic skill, default, Crimson Kiss. Deals S amount damage to an enemy. If the enemy has bleeding debuff, deals another S amount damage. Has 75% chance to set bleeding debuff on the enemy for 3 turns. That's good. So essentially, if I hit you, and if you don't got bleeding, that's cool. I'm gonna hit you again, and you should have bleeding, which is gonna be real cool. And then, no. Yes, okay, it hits you, and then once you do get bleeding, I hit you again. I hit you twice. I had that backwards. This is a real good skill. I like it. Unlimited melee impaler. Move to a single target, deals S amount of damage to the enemy. If the enemy has pinned down debuff, sets paralyzed debuff for 2 turns instead. Sets bleeding debuff on the enemy for 3 turns. Set pinned down debuff on the enemy for 3 turns. Has 100% chance to terrify debuff on enemies within 1 tile from the enemy for 3 turns. Moving to starting position. 2 turns instead. Bleeding debuff. So you put back down, pin down after they have pinned down. I never seen them do all 4 of these, 3-4 of these, but I'm gonna check it next time. But that's real nice. Next skill, Vampire Bat Swarm. Which this is an AOE entire battlefield skill. I mean, it's a mass, so everybody can get hit with this. This is what makes him very good and makes his default skill even better. Deals S amount of damage to all enemies. Sets bleeding debuff for or on all enemies for 2 turns. Reduced healing debuff on all enemies is replaced with block healing debuff for 2 turns. Has 100% chance to set reduced healing debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Woo, so if you don't got reduced healing to get block healing, you will have reduced healing and you're gonna bleed. So when you move, you're dying. That's really nice. Undying Thirst. Turn start. If one or more characters have bleeding debuff, sets increased attack buff on the hero for 1 turn. So every turn he's just gonna always have more than 11k attack. That's sweet. Second passive, Vampire Lord. When this hero attacks an adjacent enemy, if the hero has full health, attacks the enemy again with a default skill. Let me tell you why this is so good. So if he has full HP, right, and if you already have bleeding, he's gonna hit you once, twice. He's gonna activate this skill again and hit you 2 more times. You're gonna take over almost 60k damage because he's a slayer. Once again, increased attack, you'll probably take 16 or 17k damage. With Ultra, probably 19 to 20k damage, almost 100k damage on 1 turn. With about 7k defense and with some with 7k defense, and he got 30% pierce. You can probably take 10, 12k. That's crazy, man. Once again, he can fly, and then his last passive is Crimson Feast. Heals 50% HP from damage the hero inflicts to enemies. And if he's doing a lot of damage, what you think his health is gonna do with that damage? It's gonna go up with it. And on top of that, he's a skeleton, so he's immune to burn, severe burn, poison, intoxicated, leech, and bleeding. So any debuffs of these such is just not going to work. I don't know about you, but that's a very great build for a character of skills. Now the way you want to build him, you want to definitely get his attack high because he's a slayer. This is one of the build configurations I'm trying. Now with Relentless, this is essentially his main DPS build here. You have to use Relentless. He goes crazy because if you look at the attack set bonus, when this actor attacks the enemy, 20% chance this action is actor gains an extra turn. Also grants 10% attack and 50% crit damage, which is all good for his character. Not only that, but this says when this actor attacks an enemy, once again, full health. If he can attack again with a default, that's 4 hits. Therefore, that can proc 4 different times. And then after that's done, if one of those proc, bam, he goes again, and you're gonna see that in the gameplay. Now, if you want him to be a little more devious, depending on who you're fighting, you can put Cruel on him for more attack and some negative defense penetration. You can put Curse on him if you're fighting like the Spider Boss or a Boar Boss to lower its HP. Well, not lower its HP, but lower its attack. So once again, once a Relentless procs over and over and over again, he's going to eventually do Shatter attack. And you will see that in the gameplay as well if he don't kill them too fast. And trust me, it's very good. Another set piece you can try on him to keep him alive. You can try Bloodthirst. Don't really matter the gear set, as long as you go for attack and crit damage overall for your weapon, shield, and gloves. You can go Bloodthirst, and you can put regen on him to try and keep him at full health before he attacks to try and attack again. You can even put, let me see, I know I've seen a whole lot of people putting full crew on him for maximum -5. Oh, right, -5%. You need 3 for -15, I said earlier, to get him to do max damage. But if you want his true damage to come out, you want Relentless and you want melee retaliation. You will probably keep Relentless on the whole time and switch the other setup for melee retaliation or for regen, maybe for Cruel, Curse, even Ice. This 2 set piece slide is basically just there for utility for him. Cause regardless, you can take these 2 off and he'll go crazy with just these 4. That I can guarantee. You see how I don't got this upgraded? I just got it here as a piece, and this is this is not even optimized gear that I would want on him, but it's working. So that's real great. If you want to be a little more spicy, you can even go for a lifesteal to get him to really get healed up, and go with even Shield Breaker to go for Evolve if you want to go crazy, or Relentless and Shield Breaker, that will go even more crazy. It's a lot of way you can build him. But if you want the main damage, you'll go for Relentless. If you want the main health regain, you go for Bloodthirst and Regen, or Bloodthirst and Cruel for the high damage. Now let's talk about the main pieces of the gear. For your weapon, I went with C damage, but you can go with crit rate if you have a C damage necklace, or either a C damage ring, not necklace. And then for his armor, you can go with HP or defense. I'm going for HP so that he can keep his health high and don't get hit with just one attack, because he is a Slayer, so his defense is real low, so you have to rely off of his HP. For the glove, you can go with attack, you can go with crit damage. You can get crit damage on gloves, can't you? Hold on. Yeah, you can. Once again, this is not optimized. This is a 4-star for Hammer 4. I got it because of crit damage and the crit damage percent. For the headgear, again, I went with HP, and once again, it's a 12 piece of gear. It's not even 6. I mean, it's not even 16. You know what I'm saying? It's a tier 4. It's a tier 6 with 16. Oh my God, it's tier 6. So, like I said, you don't need the best gear for this. For the shield, go for attack. For the boots, you can go for block rate or HP. I just want to keep the HP thing going so we can keep him healthy. He's a vampire, so let's try and keep it lower. Don't mean you can't build defense or block damage on him. I mean, you can remove anything now for free, so just build to your heart's content, For his accessories, for his ring, I went with C rate, but if you get C rate on his weapon, feel free to make this C damage. For his amulet, I got C damage. I don't really think I want anything else on this. It just, I want him to do a lot of attacks. So yeah, C damage is the only way to go. If you're going defensive, go block damage or block rate. And then for banner, I went with attack. And like I said, if you want to go to defensive, go with HP if you want to. So overall, after everything is built, he got 36k HP. I think that's a good HP for a vampire in my opinion. 11.3k attack. This is a lot. He has some, just mediocre amount of defense. Not bad, not good. 30% pierce as always. Now let's go over his talents. I already did them. So mostly I just went with mostly attack talents and some that can keep him healed up. A little bit of crit damage. I don't really need this. I don't really need the block one. Hold on. There we go. I'm so glad. I'm gonna start doing this now, going through these on the video. Oh, y'all didn't hear that. This is more attack damage for him. Negative per each dead ally. Do I want this on him? Yes, I do. Okay. Let me see. Attack, of course. Block rate. I don't really care for that, but anything else I don't want. That might work. More crit damage, of course. I do want shield so that he don't get killed instantly. You could go with anything else if you really want to. This would be really good for him. This can be good for him too, but I just don't want him to die. But for the sake of the video, I'll go with this. I want this for his cooldowns. I got him fighting large sided bosses, more attack. Do I need that on him? Or everything else is busted? Yeah, I'm not using him on arena defense, and these are not useful to me, so yeah. There we go. More crit damage, of course. More attack. Each live ally, and killing enemy get a shield. Yeah. So yeah, that's the entire tier list. I want to make sure you guys get the most optimal build, so I don't mind doing a little few changes on the video. Alright, so that's the build. That's how we got him. Do what you need with that. Let's go ahead and let's go fight something on auto, and let's see how he eats it up. Let's just see what goes on. Alright, we are back for the last section. Now I tested him against Gorgut and Munchmaw Den, but not Glutus Den. I don't think so. Oh, I did, apparently. I did. I'll take you out. So just go put on auto. Let's see how it goes. There you go. That went crazy. And if you realize, he didn't really go as much as the others did, and he still really triumphed in the damage a little bit. I'm gonna also be honest, since these are also high damage dealers, he didn't really shine that much. I just tried to create the fastest team. I'm going to try a different boss. You know, I already autoed the guild boss, but I don't mind doing it again for you guys. I want to do Ultra Nightmare, but I already did it. They're gonna keep coming. I do. Okay, I'll just show you. I'm just gonna press auto. I'm just gonna press auto. I'm not gonna touch anything else. Alright, let's start that real quick. There we go. So I got the nightmare chest damage already. I think it's 4.3? 4.3? I gotta check it. I gotta check. 4.3, 4.25. Now, y'all seen it was like 4,000, right? Around 4,000. Let just be cute and say 5,000, right? I did 10 million damage with that team. Now, I will admit, Gore Diver was a good person there for the minion to be controlled, and I also used some good high-end characters. Now I have seen other people use other high-end characters of the same way. You know, I don't mind you seeing this right here. That'll be the only time that I show you know what my guild be doing. You can mimic these if you want. And so you see how good the man is, right? How he can go almost 5-6 times in one turn. I did see sometime where he hit like 246 damage and not higher. I'm going to check that out and see if that was a mistake. But y'all seen how crazy he went though. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna show you one more, just because I know I was late with this video and I still feel terrible. Let me just show you. Hold on, go back. I want you to look at something real quick. You see, just look at the time. Look at the times. Just look at all the best times from up here, and then just keep going down. Just look at the time. You guys see the pattern, right? 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6, 4, 5, 6, 5, back down 6, 7, Two, 3, 10, 9, 6, 3, 1 minute. That's when now you get. It's like you can see when I got test pass right here, and I just swim through these wins. Oh man, this is another setup that I have, and he missed this boss too. There you go. I don't know how else to tell you. Just he eats. Now, is a few issues that I will talk about right now about him. Right. So one, if you don't have him during end game or mid game where you can get the relentless sets, then you're not gonna get the same gameplay. He's still gonna be devious. Don't get me wrong. He just won't be having those extra turns to make them faster. So if you don't, then it's best to get all cruel with a little bit of curse maybe, or just all cruel together for the maximum amount of damage that he can do with his basic attack, which he would do a little bit more, probably a lot more damage honestly, since it'll have that negative 15% defense penetration type. So just be mindful of that, and especially because when you're in game, you can build him the way you want and you have the excess amount of resources. Yeah, the excess amount of resources. Another thing is, if you don't have the proper team for him to thrive with, as you've seen him on the guild boss, on the accessories boss, he had allies to give him extra turns and to give him ultra defense, ultra attack. So he needs a team that can support him. If you just try and throw him in with any team, he will work. But at that point, he's just going to be a basic slayer in your team doing his job. You won't have all the excitement. And a slayer job is to go in and get a couple of kills, then die. Then you revive him, he just go do it again. Now, he does have a lot of sustain. So if you want to put like 2 supports on him to give him increased defense, HP heals, all that, then yeah, he'll work. He'll still work, not as good, but it'll be a little bit of a struggle getting him to work, especially if you're early game with him. But other than that, he's good. And then I know Lord of Bones, you can get him at any time. Just working on the Mystery Island. I don't know why I say any time. So focus on Mystery Island, and if you get him before you're even in hard Mystery Island, then he can also help you push it a little bit more. I didn't try him on the the Mystery Island boxes, but I got great feedback from other in-game folks that said that he eats them too. Essentially, any boss he go against, he is going to, get him. He's going to kill him. He's a vampire lord. He's a one-on-one lord. He just can't do it by himself. And you see my build, I got a plus 12 a shield, plus 12 headgear, and they're not even optimized. So, what we're going to need... Alright, sorry about that. So, basically, if you're early game, you just won't have the relentless set yet. So you gotta be careful how you build him. With full crew, you'll be fine. Nothing to worry about. Do your thing. You can still free build him the same way I say in their earlier sections. And honestly, range set will also work on him. That's also one I did not mention, but this will also help his crit damage. And you know what? This might be better than Cruel. Matter of fact, I might try this now. This could be real good. 30% crit damage and then 10% attack. He already has 4.4% crit damage, and a 35% crit damage, probably with 300 more, or 250 or 300 more. 4.9, and what 10% attack. So what 500 more attack? Cause extra 5%, 150. So crit damage might be better. Okay, I don't want to make the video too long, but you get it. He's fast, he's strong, and he do go crazy. So. If you have him, great. If you don't, next year he should be available. So I will say save your resources. And there you go. That's the video. Thank you for joining me. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and thank you for viewing the video. Bye bye.